This is a sutra that I'm supposed to lecture to you this season, but what happened is that based on the needs of our assembly down south, I decided to switch to the Medicine Master Buddha Sutra first, and that's why I didn't think I would have enough time to lecture in the sutra this season, this year, because we are about 60% done with Medicine Master Sutra, and therefore the San Jose Assembly is the opportunity for us to investigate this particular sutra here. Okay? Nghe có hiểu không? No problem. Mình simplify được không? Phải cần dịch ra tiếng Việt hay là you okay with tiếng Anh?
Được. Yeah, okay.
Tại vì nó có người Việt thì mình giảng tiếng Việt, còn nếu có người Việt mình save time.
Yeah.
Muốn tôi giảng tiếng Việt cũng được, but it's going to be a painful process for me because
Thôi tiếng Anh một tiếng.
I asked them if the English is okay, and they all could hear English. In the tradition of the way the Master Shuinho taught us how to speak Dharma is that even a single person comes, is considered the assembly, the assembly. Therefore, we will speak sutra. Okay? And when we speak sutras, we make a point to provide translation to everyone in their native languages, if they so wish. If it helps improve their understanding of the sutra. That's why I first asked them whether English is okay, and they said it's okay. Okay. The sutra here we're investigating on today is a sutra on the Buddha's bequeathed teaching. Vietnamese name for that is Yi Yao Kinh. Okay. It was originally available to us in Sanskrit, and then was translated by a very famous Dharma master. It's called Tripitaka Dharma master. Tripitaka means 3 baskets. Yes.
Oh.
3 baskets, meaning that the Buddhist canon. The Buddhist canon consists of 3 major baskets, 3 major areas. The sutra area, this is the actual recordings of the sutra, of the Buddha's teachings. Okay. The other store is the Vinaya store, or the morality teachings, teaching about rules of moralities and regulations. And number 3 is the Shastras, or Vietnamese Luận, meaning they're not really teachings from the Sutra, from the Buddhas, excuse me. They actually are teachings, they are actually commentaries of the Buddha's enlightened disciples. Actually, in Buddhism, when you lecture on Shastras, it's considered that you are a superior Dharma master, because Shastras contain the wisdom. The 3 stores correspond to the 3 studies in Buddhism, the 3 non-outflow studies. The Sutra store, okay, the Vinaya store, okay, corresponds to the study of the precepts. The Sutra store corresponds to the study of samadhi. And the Shastra store corresponds to the investigation, study of wisdom. That's why there are 3 stores in Buddhism. And this particular Dharma master Kumarajiva, has mastered all 3 stores. Therefore, he's called Tripitaka. You cannot proclaim yourself to be a Tripitaka master unless you thoroughly understand all three stores in Buddhism. So this is a very big honor. This is a revelation of this level of wisdom of this particular master. Now, I was saying that in Buddhism, these Shastra lectures tend to be deeper, much more difficult. And therefore, when I was in Taiwan, I've listened to some masters lecture on the sutras, and I made it a point to go to some lectures on the Shastras. And it turns out that the tendency is to lecture the Shastras for the sake of not transferring the knowledge or the wisdom or the understanding or clarifying the principles, but it's more for putting yourself in the category of Dharma masters who have enough wisdom and knowledge and research to lecture on Shastras. Okay? Which is unfortunate. Shastras are very difficult to lecture because they, just like sutras, the wording is very profound, and unless you have true wisdom, you will not be able to understand what the wording really means. But anyway, this Dharma master here is very, very knowledgeable about all three baskets, and his name is Kumarajiva. Kumarajiva is Sanskrit for long life. Okay, for pure youth and long life. This particular master here, we go into more details in future sutras. This particular sutra here is a process of my trying to help you build your Mahayana knowledge and vocabulary gradually. Okay, so that's why every sutra has a particular purpose. Is designed to reveal a certain slice of Mahayana teaching. Okay, so sometimes I go into more details in certain areas than others, depending on the nature of the audience or the nature of the sutra itself. This the Venerable Kumarajiva, which is Sanskrit, is a very, very famous Dharma master, and his contribution to Mahayana is extremely, extremely great. It's only second to Venerable Huyền Trang, very famous Huyền Trang. Ngài Kumarathap là có thể nói chỉ thua ông Huyền Trang về in terms of cái contribution tiếng Việt là gì ha? Sự đóng góp của thank you của về Phật pháp đó. Okay. In particular cái ông Kumarathap này á, ông cái phiên dịch ông á, hay hơn ông Huyền Trang này, hay hơn nhiều. Okay. Particular the Venerable Kumarajiva's translation are superbly literary. They're so beautiful. They're so easy to read, easy to chant, easy to. It's so beautiful. In particular, one of his translations is translated a Lotus Sutra, which in the future I explain as well. Okay. Any questions so far?
Ông Kumarathap là người Tàu.
Kumarathap là người Ấn Độ.
Ấn Độ.
Yes. Kumarajiva.
Nhưng mà tại sao thầy nói ông dịch hay hơn thầy Huyền Trang này?
Tại vì ông tức cười lắm, ông là người Ấn Độ, nhưng ông qua Tàu, ông học tiếng Tàu, ông giỏi tiếng Tàu hơn người Tàu nữa. The question here is he Venerable Kumarajiva, is he Indian or Chinese? And he says Indian. He said, how come he translated into Chinese? I told him that.
Mà ông thầy nói là ông ấy giảng hay, dịch hay hơn thầy Huyền Trang.
Dịch hay hơn thầy Huyền Trang. Even though he's Indian, he went to China and he picked up on the Chinese language very quickly and became even more fluent in Chinese than the native Chinese people. So it's extraordinary human being.
Cũng có thể là ông ở Ấn Độ thì ông thấu hiểu cái chữ Phạn nhiều hơn.
Đúng rồi,
Yeah,
ông thấu hiểu
yeah.
nhiều.
The problem in the past is that at his time, the sutras were not available. The Mahayana sutras were not available in Chinese. That's why you have to go to India and bring back sutras into China. Okay, and then you have to translate that. And we're having a similar kind of problem right now in America. That is, the Mahayana sutras there are a lot of them are available in Chinese, okay, and very profound explanations. But the text in English is very scanty. You don't have a lot of translations at all, unfortunately. For example, this particular translation into English is translated by the Buddhists. This is Master YongHua's disciples. Okay. So far, so good. When we speak of sutras, we go through the process of explaining the preface, so that they give us an idea of what to expect of the sutra and what the teachings is about. First of all, sutra on the Buddha's bequeathed teaching. Looking at the title and the meaning of that. Okay, sutra, as you may recall, has a few meanings. Sutra is Sanskrit and is not translated into English or Chinese. Okay, because it contains several principles, several meanings. First of all, it means stringing together of the principles. Again, each sutra is designed to teach us a set of principles for our own unfolding of our wisdom. Each sutra is very important. If you really understand about Buddhist wisdom, every single sutra is equally important. None is more than others, because it serves its very dedicated purpose of helping clarify our mind in particular set of principles. Okay, so sutra is a set of principles that are strung together, and they're designed to gather in those beings whose good roots have ripened, who are ready to receive the teaching. Okay, and therefore each sutra, each teaching is really geared towards a set of beings. Okay, to benefit those types of beings. The third kind of meaning is a constant meaning. Each sutra is the same throughout time. Okay, meaning that in the future, the next Buddha, Maitreya Bodhisattva, who will be our next Buddha, when he expounds his teaching, the teaching will be the exact same thing as this current Buddhas. Okay, and so it's constant in time. It is also constant in space. If you go to a different world, the teaching is exactly the same thing. Okay, that's why it's called constant. Number 4 is a method. Method meaning a way of practice, a recipe for our practices. Number 5 is bubbly spring, because depending on the explainer's choice, the principles can bubble forth like bubbly spring, okay, one after another. Number 6 is carpenter's plumb line. This is a tool. Sutras are tools for us to know the proper alignment. Okay, you use the plumb line, the carpenter's plumb line, so that you have a straight line. Okay, so this is a very important reference point. With our sutras, we don't have good reference points in our practice, in our understanding. Okay, and 7 is a path. What's the difference between path and method? Help me out here. What's the difference?
The method is way you're practicing, and the path is what you're going.
You got that? The method is a recipe. The path is
Your journey.
the roadmap. Okay, and this is very important because the path. Whose path are we talking about?
Your own.
The sage's path. Those who have succeeded already,
Okay.
and they left the path. They documented the path for our benefit. Okay. So that's the meaning of sutras. Okay. This particular title here, the Bequeathed Sutra, is classified as a person and Dharma classification. Okay. Okay. A person is the Buddha, and Dharma refers to the teaching itself, the Bequeathed teaching. Okay. That's why it's classified as a title that contains both a person and Dharma. Okay. Buddhas. What are Buddhas? Buddhas is a general name for the ultimately enlightened person. There's no one who's wiser than this person. And who is this person? They're all of you in the future. Okay? Because all of us are endowed with the Buddha nature. All of us will eventually attain Buddhahood. Okay, from our blessings that we planted so far in our path of cultivation. Okay. And this Buddha is not any Buddha, but this is Shakyamuni Buddha, the teaching host of our world. Alright? When we talk about enlightenment, what is enlightenment?
Wisdom.
Enlightenment has 3 kinds. 1 is inherent, number 2 is beginning, number 3 is ultimate. What are the 3 different things? Number 1, inherent, is that meaning that you are stupid. That's what it really means. You are completely confused. But inherently you are endowed with the ultimate knowledge, ultimate wisdom. Even though right now you're confused. Okay? So why do we call that enlightenment? Why? Why can't we call it you stupid or confusion or delusion? But we call it inherent enlightenment. Depends on who's looking at it. If I look at it, I'd say it's stupidity, right? Because I only see stupidity in you. But when Buddhas look at you, he said, that's a future Buddha. That's why it says, inherently you are enlightened, even though right now you're temporarily confused. Isn't it interesting how different perspectives are? Number 2 is beginning enlightenment, meaning even though you are confused, as you encounter the Buddha Dharma and you begin to practice, you gradually unfold your wisdom. It's called beginning enlightenment. You begin to have light, to see the light. Okay, that's why beginning enlightenment. And finally, ultimate is the enlightenment of Buddhas. Any questions? Okay, going back, when you explain sutras, typically we begin with the Tian Tai fivefold meanings, meaning the 5 different areas we want to briefly go over to get a picture, an overall picture of this, what this sutra and teaching is about. So we talk about the title, then we talk about the substance. Okay, substance of this sutra is about. Okay, and the substance of this sutra is summarizes a lifetime of teaching of the great Buddha. Okay, it involves both the provisional and the actual. You know what those are? What's provisional and actual? Provisional refers to the teaching of the lower vehicles, the small vehicle, the Arhats and the Pratyeka Buddha vehicles, and the actual is the Mahayana teaching, the true teaching. Okay, and the doctrine about this Buddha, this sutra that you should keep in mind as you go through this process is that a couple of things. You need to take the pratimoksha or the vinaya or the rules of morality extremely reverently, because it is the essence of the Buddha nature. It is the essence of the Buddha. Okay, and you should obey it no differently as if you were to obey the Buddha's instructions himself. And the other part of the doctrine is that it refers to the Buddha's Dharma body. What is the Dharma body? It says here, the Dharma body will always be present and indestructible. It refers to the fact that when Shakyamuni Buddha was about to enter Nirvana, his disciple was so attached to him, they become very upset, and therefore they are attached to Shakyamuni Buddha's presence in the world. That's why this sutra here is to help them overcome that and say that, listen, Shakyamuni Buddha is only a manifestation, a transformation Buddha. What actually happens is that it's only one of the 3 bodies of the Buddha. There's one body called the Dharma body, okay, meaning the entire universe is a Dharma body. That is never destroyed. It's always there. Okay? Is it clear to you with these different concepts? And the use of this sutra is to help us get a better hold of our organs, the 5 organs. Cái ngũ căn. Okay. Ngũ căn, in Mahayana, the 5 organs are considered the thieves. Your internal thieves. They rob you of what? Your Buddha nature. And rob you of your most precious jewels. They deplete you with what is most valuable to you. Okay. Mindfulness of the Holy Truth, meaning that you should keep in mind the teaching, the major principles of the teaching, and single-mindedly practice until you reach your final destination, until liberation. Alright? And finally, this teaching here is in the 5th period of the Buddha's teaching, the Lotus Nirvana period. Any questions?
Thầy tóm tắt tiếng Việt lại chút để
Phần nào?
thì tóm ra cái phần đó chuyện sơ khởi.
Sơ khởi nào? Hả?
Hả?
What?
Thường nói giờ nhưng mà thầy nói tiếng Việt lại tí chắc ăn hơn.
Tiếng Việt tôi không chắc ăn, tiếng Anh tôi chắc ăn. Đại khái đó, cái dùng của cái kinh này là nó giúp mình chế ngự cái ngũ căn. Ngũ căn là nó tạo cái constant low trong hệ thống thành tiếng Tàu là tiếng Tàu gọi là ngũ căn là ngũ âm khước cái gì quý báu nhất của mình là cái Dharma, cái Phật tánh của mình. Okay?
Could you see what the 5 roots are?
The 5 roots are your 5 sense organs. Your eyes, your nose, your ears, your tongue, and your body. That sense of touch.
Those are lovers.
Okay? Is it clear now, the 5 organs?
Yeah.
A lot of them are much very versed in these different concepts, but they also have to go through the process of familiarizing themselves with the Buddhist terms. So have to be patient. All right. Anything else? Okay. Let's go into the sutra text itself. The sutra preface. When Shakyamuni Buddha first turned the wheel of Dharma, he crossed over the venerable Ashnata Gondinya. The very last time he spoke Dharma, he crossed over the venerable Subhadra. All of those whom he should have crossed over had already been crossed over. He lay between the twin sala trees and was about to enter Nirvana. At that time, in the middle period of the night, all was quiet without any sound. Then, for the sake of all his disciples, he spoke on the essentials of the Dharma. Vietnamese? Yes? Yes or no? No. No? No? Cần hay không cần? Prefer hả? Like đi hả? Nhà mình tập đọc tiếng Việt. Đức Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni chuyển đẩy bánh xe Pháp Luân đầu tiên. Lần đầu tiên hóa độ tôn giả Kiều Trần Như. Thuyết pháp lần cuối cùng hóa độ tôn giả Tu Bạc Đà La. Những người có thể hóa độ, Ngài đã hóa độ tất cả. Hôm nay trong rừng Sa La, giữa cây song thọ, Ngài sắp niết bàn. Bây giờ là lúc giữa đêm, hoàn toàn yên lặng, không một tiếng động. Ngài đã vì các đệ tử mà nói tóm tất cả những điều cốt yếu của chánh pháp. How does Vietnamese sound?
So nice.
Nice.
Does it sound nice to you?
Each sutra. Remember this morning when we started talking about chant? I said as a courtesy, as a chant teacher, you want to make sure you reveal the origin of your Dharma. Okay? Why is that? Not because you need to sell yourself, explain yourself, but to provide a reference point for the audience to know the nature and the source and the reliability of the Dharma that's being taught. Okay. When you explain sutras, you also have to go through a similar kind of process to make sure that the audience understands that the sutra is really the true Mahayana sutra, and therefore each sutra has to meet the sixth realization to be able to be classified as a true Mahayana sutra. Okay? This is a very important part of it, because it tells you that this is real, can be trusted, and the principles that are brought forth in this sutra are bona fide and you can use in your cultivation. Okay? The first realization is the Dharma. meaning that this is the Dharma that's being taught by the Buddha. Okay? And all Buddhas of the 3 periods of times and space. The second one is, in this particular sutra preface here, is that there's an audience. He's lecturing, explaining for the sake of his disciples. Number 3 is there's a time. Okay? The exact time is midnight. Midnight symbolizes the middle way. Okay? Everything is quiet. You are the midpoint between day and night. Okay. Therefore, it represents the middle way of the teaching. The speaker here is Shakyamuni Buddha. The place here is between the sala trees. Sala trees are a very special kind of tree. Sala is Sanskrit for solo, meaning solo. Jingu is solid and stable. Okay. The twin sala tree is very funny. It's a tree. On top you see a foliage. In the middle you see the 2 trunks. Okay? Joining at the top and then joining at the bottom. They share the same roots and the same foliage. That's why it's called twin sala tree. Okay? And they symbolize the 4 virtues of nirvana. Okay. Any questions? Có cần nhớ tiếng Việt không?
You didn't explain 6.
6 what? Oh, the hearing. Thank you. The hearing, the 6th realization is that hearing, meaning that the Buddha actually spoke this to someone who says, this is what I heard. Okay, I actually heard it. Okay, that's why in the text itself, usually you see a Buddhist text starting with "Thus I have heard." Okay. Tiếng Việt gì? Thus là I have heard.
Tôi nghe như vậy.
Gì hả?
Trong kinh thường nói tôi nghe như vậy.
Tôi nghe something like that. Cái đó là cái certification của ngài Anna. Ngài nói là tôi đã nghe giảng kinh như vậy. This is for real. Okay. Let's go a little bit into details about some of the terms. Turn the wheel of Dharma, or the Dharma wheel. Okay. This is a very common term, technical term you keep on hearing about sutras or about Buddhist teachings. Turn the Dharma wheel, or wheel turning, and so forth. Okay. What it symbolizes, chuyển pháp luân, symbolizes the ability to turn the afflicted minds of living beings with the Dharma and destroying their confusion. Okay. Cần giảng tiếng Việt không? Turn the Dharma, chuyển pháp luân biết rồi phải không?
Dạ, ai cũng biết.
Ai cũng biết. Vậy nó giảng chi nữa không?
Không, dạ không phải không biết. Nhưng mà cái chữ thì biết tại hình
chữ thì biết. Nó cái chuyển pháp luân nó có hai cái different concepts. Nó là thứ nhất là nó chuyển cái phiền não của chúng sanh, chuyển hóa phiền não chúng sanh. Ok. Vì vậy bây giờ mới giảng pháp để chuyển hóa cái phiền não chúng sanh. Cái thứ nhì là cái destruction of confusion thì vì cái gì? Mờ tối, u ám. Confusion. Okay. Là cái pháp luân nó có the ability to destroy confusion. Okay. They cannot resist the Dharma wheel. The Dharma wheel has the crushing power against the externalist dharmas. They have no defense against it. It's very powerful. Okay? And then another term in English you should get used to crossover, meaning to liberate them. You cross over from one shore to the other, from the shore of affliction to the shore of nirvana. Okay? The shore of suffering to the shore of bliss. Now, the first disciple, when the Buddha spoke Dharma, he first spoke in the human realm. He spoke of the Four Noble Truths, and he crossed over. The first person he crossed over is Venerable Ashnata Kondinya. Okay, because in a private lifetime he had conditions with Venerable Ashnata Kondinya, and he said when he was practicing the Bodhisattva path, he made a vow. He said, when I become a Buddha, if I ever become a Buddha, the Venerable Ashnata Kondinya will be the first one I cross over. That's why as soon as after Shakyamuni Buddha became enlightened, he searched the world over and sought out Ashnata Kondinya and went there and spoke the Four Noble Truths. When the Venerable Ashnata Kondinya heard his teaching, as soon as the Buddha started expounding Dharma and mentioned the word guest dust. Okay? Guest dust của tiếng Việt là gì ha? Never mind. Guest dust. Trần. Khách trần. See, the Venerable Ashnata Kondinya immediately certified to first stage arhatship. Isn't it fascinating? I repeated the same exact words, khách trần and guest dust. Are you yet? Huh? That's why the speaker makes a difference.
Yeah.
And then the Buddha went on and explained the Four Noble Truths. He explained about suffering, he explained about accumulation, he explained about extinction, he explained about the way. Okay? And as soon as he finished explaining the Four Noble Truths, Venerable Ashnata Kondinya became certified to the fourth stage arhatship. Just like that. No need to cultivate, no need to do charge. Why is that? How come? Nghe hiểu, ngày Kiều Trần Như, you heard of the story before. Yeah. Nghe em gái đắc được tứ quả A-la-hán ngay lập tức. Không cần tu thiền, không cần luyện công gì hết. Tại sao vậy?
Cái kiếp trước là có những kiếp trước.
Cái duyên từ kiếp trước nó bị cái quả nó chín rồi. Thì tự động chứng quả. Mình không có đủ phước thì mình phải tu vậy. Okay, so far? Yeah. And the last disciple he crossed over is Venerable Subhadra.
We didn't get that.
Get what?
How did that happen?
Okay, now you forgot the incense. The incense girl.
There isn't any more.
No more? Okay, we'll bring some next time. That's all right.
More.
Oh,
There's more in the room.
Okay. What? You forgot what?
Well, no, you didn't answer for us.
Answer for what?
When he, how did he do that? How did he get to be fourth day arhat?
You really want to know?
Well,
I thought you don't care for arhatship.
Well, it's the path.
What?
The Buddha.
Who's that? Says who?
I have to go there before I can go to Buddha.
Really?
Yes.
That's what you told me.
We're believing what you say.
Yeah. So the question again is what? Fourth stage ahaship, how come?
How did he get there? Like in cultivation of Chan?
Look how.
How? How did he do that?
Because Chan didn't exist.
Oh.
Chan's only for later. See, Chan is for the people who don't have enough blessings. Folks, like it or not. You see, when you have enough blessings, you don't need to come to Chan. Chan's a waste of time. You listen to one word and you suddenly become enlightened. You become certified arhat. You become certified to first dhyana, second dhyana, third dhyana, fourth dhyana. Why bother crossing your legs? Sitting in full lotus, too painful.
Well, what did they do before they got to that? If they don't need to do all that.
You see, this is the difference between the time. At the Buddha's time, when you're born in the time of the Buddha, you are so blessed that all you have to do is when you encounter the Buddha then speaks Dharma for you, you become enlightened.
We came around too late.
Yes.
Thưa thầy, nhưng mà có phải là tu nhiều kiếp trước thì nó có cái duyên nó chín mùi thì nó phải được như vậy không
Yeah.
thầy?
Yeah. Yeah. Có nhiều cái nhân duyên khác nhau, không thể nói là thầy nói không là mình don't một cái only way to become enlightened. There's so many paths. Chẳng hạn như cái enlightenment là nó có nhiều cái nguyên nhân khác nhau chứ đâu phải là phước không. Có nhiều người chẳng hạn như ngài Thiên Hóa, ngài khi mà ngài tu, ngài thề đó là tôi nhất định tôi không muốn giác ngộ, tôi muốn thành Phật. Tại vì tôi muốn đợi đệ tử tôi thành Phật trước, tôi muốn chúng sanh thành Phật trước tôi mới thành Phật. Đó là cái nguyện người ta như vậy. Ok. Thành ra nó có nhiều cái nguyên nhân khác nhau. Đều again giống như mình quay cine vậy. Một same cuốn sách, same novel, nhưng ba cái bạn một người nó biên một cái scenario, cái script nó khác nhau để mà tại vì có một vision, một cái storyline khác, một cái message khác. Ok. Thành ra cái path of cultivation cũng như vậy. Mình Bồ Tát, Phật này đó mấy cái manifest hiện ra để mà dạy á, giúp người, tại một người mình có cần đi con đường khác nhau. Thành Phật Pháp nó uyển chuyển lắm, nó có 84 vạn ngàn pháp môn như vậy đó. Now the last one is Venerable Subhadra. You know who that sage is? Ngài cuối cùng là ngài tôn giả Tu Bạc Đà La. Quý vị biết ông đó là ai không?
Ngài là một cái người rất là già, phải không thầy? Lớn tuổi chứ không thầy?
But she knows everything. Oh, I know what she's doing here.
No, I don't know everything.
Yeah, his story is very famous. He's an externalist. Venerable Subhadra is Sanskrit for good, worthy one, or wonderful, or good, worthy one. Okay, and he's the very last one that the Buddha helped cross over before the Buddha entered Nirvana. He used to be an externalist. He was 120 years old.
My goodness.
All right. And he heard that the Buddha was about to enter stillness. So he said, this is my last chance to get his help. So he went to see the Buddha. And the Buddha wasn't around. He was on his arms bowl round. And he talked to the Buddha's disciples. Most of whom are great arhats, tremendous spiritual powers. And these arhats then listen to the request of this externalist who want to lead a home life and become a bhikshu, become a monk. The arhats use his spiritual powers and examine the causes and conditions to check whether he has enough blessings to become a monk. Okay? And they turn him down because they realize that for 80,000 great kalpas, long time. This person created no merit and virtue whatsoever. None. And therefore they rejected him. And this old man here became very disappointed. He went to the river and thought of jumping into the river to kill himself. He said, I'm too old now. Can't take care of myself. Have nothing to look forward to. Therefore life is not worth living. I can't go on. No sense in going on. So he's about to jump into the river to kill himself. The Buddha suddenly appeared from nowhere. He said, stop. What are you doing? He said, I want to kill myself. Why? The Buddha's disciples rejected me. They don't want me. No one wants me. Oh, you poor thing. Come with me. I will accept you. Who are you? Oh, I'm the one that you originally sought. I'm the Buddha. Really? So the old man followed the Buddha back. And you know what happened? And this is what's fascinating to me. The details they probably don't know about. The Buddha brought him back, used his spiritual power and said, now I ordain you to be a monk. You know what happened? When the Buddha was in the world, this is such a cool thing. He says, I ordain you as a monk. You know what happened? The hair naturally falls off. Don't need to use a razor blade. Okay? It falls off by itself. And then you suddenly adorn with monk's garb. Isn't that wonderful? Huh? Such a cool trick. If I can have that.
Yeah, I'll take that trick.
So he became a monk. And then the Buddha explained Dharma to him. He explained what? The 8 Noble Truths. See, this is what's so fascinating about wisdom. When he saw Venerable Ashnata Kondinya, he explained about guest dust. Okay? And that guy, that man became enlightened right away. Became a sage right away. Just hearing the concept of guest dust. When he saw this old man here, he explained this person about the 8 sagely way-shares. Okay? As soon as he finished explaining that, he became first stage arhat. No chant again. No chant, no pure land, no mantras. No need to cultivate. He listened to the Dharma, he became enlightened. Wouldn't that be nice? And then after he heard the 4 Noble Truths, he became a 4th stage arhat. So he's the last one who became arhat in the Buddha. After he's done teaching, helping cross over this last particular old man, the Buddha then entered Nirvana. Okay? So far so good?
Well, when you read that, you don't figure all that out. We need to have you tell us, Minister.
Yes? Yes. Translation, no translation. Yes? Huh? Translation? Translation? No, you have to ask. You see, this is part of my learning process is why I learned to explain in Vietnamese. Because I need to, this morning I introduced myself as a disciple of Venerable Fit Manya. He's my Vietnamese Shifu. Okay? And he's such a wonderful monk because he's so fond of me for all the wrong reasons. It is so interesting. It's like the love of a father for a daughter. You can't do wrong. You know what I'm talking about, huh? No matter what. Not here, huh? Not here. He kept on giving to me, and I kept on refusing. Is that the case in your household? Okay. But in the back of my mind, I'm so much indebted to him. I'm always looking for opportunities to try to repay his kindness. And finally understood that one of the major things I could do is to help with Vietnamese Buddhism. Okay? My Chinese master's assignment to me, he asked me to explain sutras in English. Okay? That's my assignment. However, that's only one of my 2 shufus. The other one, he didn't give me instructions, but I'm indebted to him. Therefore, I need to help with Vietnamese Buddhism as well. Okay? Now, translation is a very tricky business. Okay? And therefore, it's a learning process I have to go through, and that's why I welcome the request for Vietnamese explanation, because it's my chance to learn. So I hope they bear with me when I try to explain things to them in Vietnamese. Okay? Muốn giảng cái phần nào mà nghe không hiểu?
Thầy.
Thầy nãy thầy nói thầy ông Phật ông giảng cho anh em Kiều Trần Như là ông giảng kinh gì đây?
Kiều Trần Như hả?
Dạ.
Ông không có giảng kinh, ông giảng cái khách trần, cái concept của khách trần. Thì ngài Kiều Trần Như khi nghe cái concept của khách trần đó, ngài tự động chứng A La Hán quả ngay lập tức, sơ quả ngay lập tức. Rồi xong rồi Phật mới giảng cái tứ diệu đế. Cái kinh đầu tiên của một trong những kinh đầu tiên của A Hàm, cái bộ A Hàm đó, thì tứ diệu đế thì ngài Kiều Trần Như với 4 vị đệ tử kia đạt được A La Hán. Nhưng đều cái người mà đắc quả thánh quả đầu tiên hết á, trong cái đại đệ tử của Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni từ ngài Kiều Trần Như. Bởi cái Kiều Trần Như có thể người đầu tiên đã được giác ngộ. Vì vậy đó, cái giác ngộ này là trong cái context của tiểu thư đó, thì giác ngộ là sơ quả A La Hán. Còn context của đại thừa, cái giác ngộ không phải là sơ quả. Giác ngộ, cái sơ quả là extremely low, extremely confused. Okay. But anyway, mình vẫn trong cái context của cái tu hành đó, cái mà đắc được cái sơ quả là một cái chuyện kinh thiên động địa. It's not to be belittled, coi thường được. Okay. Còn như ngài Kiều Trần Như, còn ngài Tu Bạc Đà La thì sao? Có thắc mắc gì không? Cái pháp mà Phật giảng cho ngài đó là pháp cái bát chánh đạo. Thì nghe bát chánh đạo ông đạt được sơ quả, rồi được nghe giảng tứ diệu đế thì đạt được tứ quả. To me, tôi vẫn so fascinated about it. Tại vì tôi nghe cái pháp mà một cái bản kinh tứ diệu đế thôi. You know, the sutra on the Four Noble Truths is about half a page long. And after he finished his sermon, his disciples certified to 4-stage arhatship. That is always fascinating to me. Why? Because first stage is very hard. The second stage arhatship is much harder. The first stage I look at the first stage. The second stage Arhat looks at the first stage Arhat. Looks at, he is so dense. He is so slow. He is so confused. Okay. So it's very, very big deal to go from first to second. From second to third is so even more difficult. Okay. Now, when you get to the third stage Arhat, from first to third, they're called positions with further study. Even though they're sages, they're still very confused. You still have to study, finish the work, the cultivation. Okay? When you move on to the fourth stage Arhatship, from third to fourth, it is so difficult. It is. If you talk about a leap from zero, from unenlightened to first stage Arhatship, which is very, very difficult. Okay? Extremely difficult. Why? They don't know how to do it. That's why it's extremely difficult. Okay? But when you move on to second stage Arhatship, again, the degree of difficulty increases exponentially. Okay? Now, so you see that, but the funny thing that happens between third and fourth is that the gap there of wisdom is beyond comprehension, beyond imagination. That's why fourth stage is very difficult. And to me, if you can spend time explaining half a page worth of concepts, and people become enlightened, that is incredible.
Yeah.
How is it possible? Okay? I'm still baffled. I see that as the power of wisdom. Okay? Any questions? Okay. And the okay, now thắc mắc gì về ngài Tu Bạc Đà La không? Okay. Now, when Buddhas come to the world to teach, okay, his job is considered over when he helps three sets of people, sets of living beings. Okay. When he teaches, it's really when the text here mentions disciples, những người đệ tử đó, he's referring to human realm, not only the level people but also the lay people as well. Okay. Now, when he teaches, when the Buddha teaches, he can only help three types of people. Okay. Those who have no blessings, inadequate blessings, all he can do is to help them plant blessings. The second group of people who have blessings, where they're not enough, what happens is his work is to help them increase the blessings. And the third group is that those with a lot of blessings, enough blessings, he helps them accomplish fruitions, become enlightened. That's why this is very important. If you do not have enough blessings, okay, chances are that all you can do is plant blessings once. Remember in our classes, okay, when people do not have blessings, they come once, that's it, they leave. They can't survive. They can't come back for whatever the reason. And those who keep on coming back are increasing the blessing. And finally, those who have accrued enough blessings, then their practice can come to fruition. Okay. Now, the Buddha have the wisdom, have the kind of keen wisdom. He says, now, all the people I'm supposed to help, I already helped them. Therefore, my work is done. It's time for me to go. That's why the sentence says here that all those whom he should have crossed over have been crossed over. His work is done. Okay. Now, this sutra is very interesting because it may contain, on the surface, really simple principles, but I chose to explain it for the reason that there are rules of thumb for your practice. That's why the last sentence here, for the sake of all his disciples, he spoke on the essentials of the Dharma. Meaning that, think about this. This is the Buddha who's about to leave and abandon his disciples. What does he do? He says, what are the most important instructions I need to remind them before I leave, so that they can use these as a guideline to finish their work without me being around. Okay? That's why he only mentions the essentials of the Dharma to help guide them in their cultivation and bring them to fruition. Now, the interesting thing here is that even though he's gone, he's still helping those with a lot of blessings to attain the fruitions with these instructions. Now, when people hear Dharma Sutra lectures, they say, let's see, the most important, the biggest sutra is the Flower Adornment Sutra, the Avatamsaka Sutra, the kinh Hoa Nghiêm, là cái kinh mà nổi tiếng nhất, kinh lớn nhất, kinh quan trọng nhất. They all say that. And then if you really have some kung fu, then you should be explaining the Shrangama Sutra, kinh Lăng Nghiêm. Kinh Nghiêm extremely difficult to explain. Tôi nói thiệt quý vị, tôi đọc những kinh Lăng Nghiêm mà quý thầy Việt Nam giảng đó. Don't understand. Không ai hiểu. Đồng ý hay không đồng ý?
Dạ, nó khó lắm.
Nó cái kinh đó nó refer to những cái state mà phải tu chứng mới hiểu được, mới giảng được. Tôi nói thật quý vị, cách đây mấy năm trước mà tôi đọc kinh đó, tôi sợ. Tại sao? Tôi sợ là tôi đọc tôi không hiểu gì hết. Sợ tại sao? Tại mình nói, trời đất ơi, mình là thầy tu, mình đọc kinh mà quan trọng như vậy. Kinh mình người thích tu thiền, đọc kinh về thiền, cái này là cái Bible về thiền, mình không hiểu gì hết đó. You say, what am I doing? Okay. So I told them that when I first read, several years ago, I read the Shrangama Sutra, I was frightened, I was terrified because I couldn't understand. I felt ashamed. I said, I leave the home life, became a monk, so that I can someday have enough wisdom to explain sutras. And this is one of the most important sutras in the child school. The kind of cultivation I love to practice, and yet I fail to understand. I'm a total failure. It's a scary thing. So anyway, in general, people when they go to sutra lecture, they hear sutra lecture, what kind of sutra is being explained? Who is explaining it? Okay, and so if you want to draw attention to yourself and make a name for yourself, you want to start with the big names like Kinh Hoa Nghiêm, Thầy Hàng Trường giảng Kinh Hoa Nghiêm, Thầy Hàng Toàn giảng Kinh Lăng Nghiêm. And they're nice. Okay? No one bothers explaining a silly and small sutra like this sutra. No one. You know that? Why not? Because it's too easy. They think. I may agree with them, may not have the profound principles expounded by the major sutras, but it contains such important information for our practice that if you understand the principles contained in this sutra here, they're going to go a long way towards helping you get to your end destination a lot quicker. Now, so if you don't care about cultivation, then this sutra is probably one of those types of things where, yeah, it's fun to read and I can understand the principles, but they're not much use to me. But if you're really cultivating, you're practicing chant, this sutra is extremely helpful. Cần dịch không? Yes? No?
Yes. Thầy dịch chút.
Tập dịch ha. Đại khái tôi nói là cái kinh giảng kinh là mấy pháp sư thích giảng mấy đại kinh, mấy cái đại kinh giảng thích thú lắm, tại vì mấy cái hàng như cái kinh mà Hoa Nghiêm rồi. I hope someday have the chance có thời giờ để mà nghiên cứu, để mà giảng, để finish, để mà giảng cái kinh đó. Ông Tiêu Hóa, ông giảng cái kinh đó thì biết ông giảng bao lâu? Biết không? Bao lâu? Chú biết không?
4 năm.
Hơn 4 năm. 4 năm là một tuần ông giảng, ngày ông giảng 2-3 lần. Chú có nghe hả? Ngày sao biết là 4 năm?
Đọc tài liệu.
Có người nói 4 năm, có người nói 5 năm, có người nói 9 năm. Nhưng là ít nhất là 4 năm. Thì một ngày họ giảng, ông Tuyên Hóa ông giảng 3-4 lần, 2-3 lần. Ngày nào cũng giảng 4 năm trời. Tôi nhìn kinh đó, tôi nói tôi mà giảng kinh này tôi cần ít nhất 9 năm trời. I need 9 years to explain the sutra because it is so wonderful. It is so fascinating. It is so you can do so much with it. It is so much fun to research it and to share the research with you. Okay, it is that wonderful a sutra. I highly recommend it. Okay, and in particular, there's certain chapters, like chapter 40, that contains very, very important dharmas that has yet to be made available in English for future cultivators. That's why I look forward to the day when I explain that sutra. That's a must for me. I will have to explain it before I finish my work. Okay. But in general, that sutra is really, really wonderful. And cái kinh khác mà mấy đại bài sư thích giảng là kinh Lăng Nghiêm, kinh Hoa Nghiêm, kinh Pháp Hoa này nó, kinh Lục Tổ, kinh Kim Ca này. Ai cũng nghĩ là cái kinh mấy kinh Di giáo này nó quá simple, there's a whole lot to explain. Nhưng điều tôi thích explain là tại vì tôi take it from cái angle của người mà đang tu. Đại kinh nó quan trọng tại họ Phật giảng những cái major principle để guide mình trong cái cultivation. Okay, khi mình tu, when you have run into problems, these are the principles will help you avoid problems and fix your own obstructions. Okay, được chưa? Tóm tắt vậy được chưa? Hay là muốn nhiều hay on more? Okay. so much of these visuals. Okay. You want to know about Shakyamuni Buddha? We can skip that next time. Okay, next sutra. Okay, sutra text, upholding precepts. All of you bhikshus, after my nirvana, you should reverence and honor the pratimoksha. It is like finding a light in darkness, or like a poor person obtaining a treasure. You should know that it is your great teacher, and is not different from an actual presence in the world. Those of you who uphold the pure precepts should not buy, sell, or trade. You should not covet fields or buildings, or keep servants or raise animals. Giữ giới. Các thầy tỳ kheo, sau khi Như Lai diệt độ, các thầy phải trân trọng, tôn kính tình giới. Như mù tối mà được mắt sáng, nghèo nàn mà được vàng ngọc. Phải biết tình giới, là đức thầy cao cả của các thầy. Nếu Như Lai ở đời thì cũng không khác gì tình giới ấy. Giữ tình giới thì các thầy không được buôn bán, đổi chác, sắm sửa, đất nhà, nuôi người, tôi tớ và súc vật, lo việc gieo trồng, kinh doanh, tài bảo. This is the beginning of the text proper, the actual details of the Buddha's instructions. Okay. This section here explains the essentials of worldly dharmas. Okay. In particular, when the bhikshus cultivate, why is he explaining about worldly dharmas? He's explaining the worldly dharmas to help us guard against committing and getting confused by worldly dharmas, which will go later on, like buying, selling, trading, and so on. And those are considered deviant dharmas for the true cultivators. Okay. Đây là phần bản chính của kinh. Thì Đức Phật giảng về những cái thế gian pháp mà những người tu hành, nhất các vị tỳ kheo nên tránh. Nếu như mà thực hành những cái pháp thế gian đó thì they are considered là những cái pháp deviant là gì hả? Tà, pháp bất chánh. Okay. Bhikshus are the monks, right? Tỳ kheo là mấy ông tăng. Okay. Nhưng nếu khi mà Đức Phật mà giảng dùng cái chữ mà all of you bhikshus, when he says all of you bhikshus, he's actually referring to all of you cultivators. Bhikshus are the leaders of the fourfold assembly, meaning leader của fourfold assembly, meaning bhikshus, bhikshunis, shamis, shaminis. Right? Ngài thì những tỳ kheo là thủ chúng của tứ chúng đó. Tứ chúng là tỳ kheo ni, saji và sajini. Right? Thì khi mà Phật giảng truyền cái pháp này á, là ngài giảng về, ngài nói là này các tỳ kheo, này các thầy tỳ kheo, này các thầy tỳ kheo. Cái đó là tại vì ngài cố ý nói là cái này á tôi giảng cho người thủ chúng của cái tứ chúng, là tôi giảng cho tất cả của chúng. Mà particular cái pháp này á là cái pháp mà sometimes applicable cho những cái người mà những người thầy. Tỳ kheo là thầy, là những bậc thầy. Okay. Bhikshus represent the fourfold assemblies and they are the teachers. And therefore, in this process here, the Buddha is teaching the teachers. Okay. After my nirvana, after I enter extinction, I enter stillness, you should reverence and honor the pratimoksha. Pratimoksha, okay, are the precepts. They should be revered and honored just as if you're revering me. You should look at those as instructions that will help you obtain liberation. Okay? Any questions? Tỳ kheo, đại khái tỳ kheo nó có nghĩa, nó có 3 cái nghĩa, 4 cái nghĩa. Cái nghĩa đầu tiên hết á là làm sợ, làm ma sợ. Nghĩa thứ nhì á, phục ma. Bu là phục là phú, không phải phục. Cái này là làm ma sợ. Thiệt sự người ma sợ là tại vì khi mấy thầy theo mà thọ đại giới đàn á, thì tụi thiên ma nó nghe tin được, họ sợ lắm, họ giật mình, nói là cái này là mình là một người sắp được giải thoát, nên trồng cái nhân được giải thoát, cái này không tốt. Very bad news for us. Nó kinh, nó rùng rời tay chân, họ rùng rời tay chân. Cái thứ nhì á là người ăn xin, người ăn mày. Cái thứ ba là po là phá ác, right? Destroyer of evil. Bhikshus, it means destroy evil. I was explaining, I forgot to explain the meaning of bhikshus, but the fourth meaning, bhikshus basically meaning bhikshu is a beggar. Bhikshu also means a frightener of Mara. Mara này là vua ma nghe, chứ không phải ma thường đâu. Hàng ma hả? Thank you. So he frightens the demon king. You know what the demon king is?
Demon king?
Mm-hmm. The demon king is one of a very powerful demon in our realm.
In our realm?
Yes, in our realm. And they're much
world realm right now?
They're much more powerful than the Christian God. Much more. And they have tremendous spiritual powers. Okay. They are in a business to harm you. The mission in life is to harm you, bring harm to you. Okay. But do you really know what they really are? Why? You know why? In the past I said I like demons, and sometimes I hate demons, sometimes I like demons.
Yeah.
You remember that? I contradict myself constantly. Because King Mara, the heavenly demon king, Mara, is actually a first stage arm. Go figure. You can't be fooled by appearances.
Yeah.
Sometimes the demon kings in cultivation, the demons come to help you cultivate. How is that?
And then
what will they do after they help you cultivate?
Can they control them?
After they help you cultivation, then they go and bother someone else.
But then you become a demon king.
No, you go beyond the demon king state. They serve the purpose. So, cultivation is kind of interesting because...
But a bhikshu scares the demon king.
Demon king, yes. Because of the dharma that he cultivates.
Because of what the
will
dharma
overcome
cultivates.
him eventually.
Because of
what the demon that the dharma
will
cultivates.
vanquish him.
Anguish?
will vanquish him.
Vanquish. Okay.
Eventually.
Bhikshu's dharma will scare him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he knows that if this person here continues with his practice, he will eventually be free from the demons' nets and demons' influence.
And he will.
They will be free from the demons' influence.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay? And will bring the people around him away from their influence.
Mm-hmm.
Big loss. Okay? And another meaning of bhikshus is destroyer of evil. Destroys the evil side in all of us. And the fourth one is expelling famine.
Expelling family?
Yes, famine.
Famine. Oh, okay.
Not family.
I went from family to famine.
Why does the bhikshu expel famine? How?
How does he do it?
How do you expel famine?
Make it rain so the crops will grow.
Okay, but bhikshus, what about those bhikshus who have no spiritual powers? You can't make it rain.
Mm-hmm.
What about them? Can they still expel famine?
Can they still make the crops grow?
No, they can't.
Probably not.
Probably not, is right.
So what else? How else can they help expel famine?
To keep us fed with dharma?
How does that go? That could, that's on. You stretch a little bit, yes, it will help expel famine, yes. Okay. But how else? What about those who are not qualified to receive the Dharma and take advantage of the Dharma? How are their famine expelled?
Can they be a bhikshu and do that?
Certainly.
Oh.
How?
Call Buddha to help?
No.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Why do you have famine?
Karma. Your karma.
Why is there famine? Tại sao có cái nạn đói? Right?
Mình cần.
Hả?
Đây, người mình cần thiết những cái đó.
Tại sao có nạn đói? Mình đâu cần đói đâu.
Mình cần ăn.
Okay. Cần ăn đâu có nghĩa là mình sẽ gặp cái nạn đói. Tại sao mình gặp nạn đói?
Too many people and not enough food.
You understand Vietnamese?
Because we waste food.
You waste food.
So karma comes back and takes all the food away.
But I waste food too. How come I don't have famine? Yeah, every now and then. I remember my younger days, I would go to a restaurant and eat a hamburger, and time runs out, you throw the, whatever you can eat into the garbage can. That's wasting food. I did go through famine too, yes, that's true. No, really. The bhikshus, by the nature of the practice, they are filled with blessings. When they accept offerings from the faithful, okay, they help him create blessings for them. And that will counter the dangers of famine. The food you bring, make an offering to the triple jewel, okay, is what helps you, shield you away from famine. Among other things. Ok? Cần giảng không?
Dạ. Thầy có thể giảng về lúc nãy thầy nói về ông ma vua thầy.
Rồi sao?
Thầy nói là ông có theo nhiều hơn bên Đức Chúa của bên đạo Công giáo. Thầy có thể giảng thêm nữa.
Đại khái là his question is that he wants to know why I said that King Mara has more power, more spiritual powers than the Christian God. In general, the Christian God, the gods in the desire realm, they have spiritual powers, có thần thông. Okay? But their thần thông are based on blessings. Không phải tu. Họ sinh ra họ tự động có những cái cái phước, họ có thần thông. Okay? Họ bay đi được, họ có ăn uống, có whatever, họ muốn gì ra đấy, cái đó là thần thông, form thần thông. Chỉ cái thần thông đó là from cái phước họ, phước báo của họ. Does it, you buy that? Cái thần thông là phước báo. Does that make sense to you? Mình không có phước, mình phải làm việc, mình create cái phước, mình create cái đó. Còn người ta có thần thông, người ta nghĩ đến cái phước nó tới mình lập tức. Nature như vậy đấy. Mình làm việc, mình dùng hai tay, mình tự động, mình over hai phước rồi tới, mình collect cái đó. Còn người ta more blessed than us, người ta chỉ nghĩ rồi nó tới. Đó là thần thông. Thì đại khái rằng cái thần thông của ông Chúa, của Chúa là from cái blessing của ông Chúa, của Chúa. Thì cái blessing của ông Ma Vương á là cái tầng trời thứ 6 trong cái dục giới mình. Cái tầng trời đó, cái phước báo họ cao hơn phước trời, là cái phước báo của cái tầng trời của Thiên Chúa. Okay. Thì trong cái dục giới là có cái 6 cái tầng trời thiên, tầng trời của mấy ông God là gì? Tiếng Việt là gì?
Chúa.
Hả?
Chúa
hả?
Chúa. Thượng đế.
Chúa trời thiên thần.
Thượng đế
là Thiên Chúa. Shangdi, God là God's realm. Trời. Phải không? Đúng không? Hoặc là thiên trời. Tiên trời. Okay. God.
Có nhiều tầng lắm.
Okay. Thì đại khái trong cái dục giới mình có 6 cái tầng trời luôn. Thì gia hạn cái tầng trời đầu tiên mình là dưới đất. Okay. Thì tầng trời đầu tiên á là tứ thiên vương. Tầng trời thứ nhì là cái tầng trời của Thiên Chúa. Rồi thứ ba, thứ tư, thứ năm, cái thứ 6, cái cao nhất á của trong dục giới mình á, tầng trời đó, tầng trời của tụi thiên ma. Ok. Thì những người mình sinh vào cái quả trời thứ 6 đó, cái phước báo họ lớn không thể tưởng được. Ông Hiển sinh vào quả trời đó bao nhiêu vậy? I explained to them the 6 heavens in the desire realm. I explained to them that the 6, for you to be born in the 6th heaven, the heaven of the heavenly demons, you have tremendous blessings before you can be born. And the manifestation of your blessings is that you have tremendous spiritual powers. Okay? Vì vậy mỗi khi mà chọi nhau giữa thiên ma với Thiên Chúa thì Thiên Chúa chịu chạy dài, phải ask for help. Ok. Dạ đáp thắc mắc nha, không là còn
Mà sao bây giờ thì có ai thờ những cái người thiên ma đó?
Không thiếu gì. Đầy.
Với những cái hình thức nào?
You have that. Cái gói ready to do.
What's that?
No.
Hay á.
Playboy ready to do.
Oh. Rất playboy.
Cái group đó là group của nó. Không biết hả?
Have none.
Những cái người mà tới the mansion á, watch out. You walking into một cái chỗ very very dangerous. So he asked
the demons?
the demon, what kind of people. I said in one of those mansions in Bel Air. That's where they hang out.
Oh.
That's their followers. Okay. They have their own dharmas. They propagate their own dharmas. They transmit their own dharmas.
Thì lần đầu tiên em nghe về ma vương. Vậy ma vương với lại diêm vương là hai người là khác nhau.
Hai cái khác nhau. Cái ma vương.
Did you want another incense, Master?
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. It's 3
okay.
o'clock.
So we won't need one.
That's okay. Yeah.
We won't need one now. He's going to end here.
Yeah, 3 o'clock now. We're gonna stop very soon. Cái người ma vương là cái người he's asking what's the difference between Mara and Yama, King Yama. Ma vương á là ông vua của trời thứ 6, một trong vua. Trời nó nhiều vua lắm nha, không phải một vua đâu, nhiều vua lắm. Với ông Mara, particularly ông này, ông dữ lắm, ông giỏi lắm. Ông chuyên môn đối địch với Phật. Phật đi đâu ông tới đấu đấy, thích đấu Phật, thích hại Phật pháp. Thành ông này rất powerful. King Mara is very powerful and he's our arch enemy of the Buddha. And King Yama, Diêm Vương á, là người thủ lãnh trong cái địa ngục, quả địa ngục của ông, cùng là vương luôn. Okay.
But he certainly would not have more powers over Buddha.
Not more.
No.
He has tremendous powers.
But he has power, yeah.
He has more powers than many bodhisattvas.
Yeah.
They're two different things: spiritual powers, blessings, and wisdom. He's very powerful. He has many of bodhisattva spiritual powers. Cannot compare to his. He's that powerful.
Wow.
So, are you worried?
But he only sits in the 6th heaven. Does it matter?
No, he's everywhere.
Oh, he's everywhere.
Oh.
No, I'm not worried.
Why aren't you worried?
You're around.
You should be worried.
They're
Oh, okay.
they're not interested in us yet.
You're right.
We're not worthy yet.
You should rethink, because after second dhyana,
Ooh.
Okay.
they know about you.
So we are a threat. Oh dear.
They certainly are targeting you.
We keep cultivating, Linda. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Even more than the monks.
We are a bigger threat
Yeah,
than the
much
monks?
bigger.
Really?
Well, because they don't want us to get that far.
Yeah, it's in where you are in your
Yeah.
cultivation. It doesn't matter what you wear and what I wear. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
No, but I mean, they
It's
don't
what?
want us to get farther up.
Yeah. They need to stop you in your tracks very quickly.
Thầy, về cái tâm ma của mình với lại cái ma vương đó, hai cái vấn đề đó nó có liên hệ không?
Như vậy chứ. Tâm ma là cái tâm nó internal, cái bên ngoài cái bên trong. Thế là chưa cười.
Hỏi câu cũng hay.
Cái ma nó có ở trong, nó ở ngoài. Đâu phải là nó đủ form. Bởi vậy cái ma là cái tụi ma, cái tụi mà tụi dễ sợ đó, tụi nó dễ sợ tại nó có đủ thứ để mà nó lung lạc được. Mình biết được. Mấy đại Bồ Tát mình chưa chắc thấy nó.
Ý con hỏi là cái tâm ma là do của mình tạo ra hay là do những người ma vương đó bỏ vào trong cái tư tưởng, trong cái tâm trí của mình?
Cái tâm ma là cái tụi ma nó ở trong người mình. Mình mời nó vào. Now is resident. Nó share chung cái thân thể của mình. You don't have as much control, you think? He asked his question is that internal demons and external demons, what's the difference? I said internal demons are simply external demons who are permanent residents in you for the moment. It's your system. It's part of your makeup. Okay.
So how are we protected from these demons? I mean, is there no
You need protection.
out of the 10,000?
Do you need protection?
Well, yeah.
Why?
What if they take over our body?
So what?
Taking over.
So what?
Then we have no self-control.
I see people being possessed all the time.
So it's our blessings that keep us from
What's the big
Nhưng mà-
deal?
nhưng mà-
them attacking us.
Nhưng mà thầy nói như vậy thì thầy có thấy mâu thuẫn không? Khi mà thầy nói á, là có dục giới á, là có 6 tầng trời, mà tầng cao nhất á, là của ma vương. Mà tại sao ma vương lại đáng sợ hơn là Thiên Chúa, trong khi ông này được cái ngôi cao hơn? Mà lại là thầy nói là cái đó chỗ quý báu hơn.
No. Thiên Chúa đâu có cao hơn.
Thì đó, nhưng mà như vậy thì cái ngôi của thứ 6 là ngôi của ông cao quý, thì vẫn có những người ham muốn về những cái vùng đó.
Đừng có chứ.
Đó.
Ông hiện lên nó rồi
Đúng
mà.
rồi.
Ông mê ông lên nó rồi mà.
Ông mê nhưng mà cũng sẽ có người lên nó nữa chứ.
Có người khác lên nữa.
Đó.
Ông lên đó ông phải là ma vương đó. Chứ đủ phước là làm ma vương để làm ma chúng.
Thì biết đâu không lẽ ông tu
khám
ma vương sao?
Ma nữ nó đẹp dễ sợ. I mean, if you excuse me, ladies, ma nữ nhìn thấy mê tít thò.
So if we should treat this one like any of the other ones, that if they're going to get me, they're going to get me anyway. So
No.
Just cultivate.
you recognize the fact that they're there, and you just move on with your life. And if they want you, they want you.
No.
No,
Not like that.
no.
Not like that. You should be aware that such a thing, such a force exists.
Right.
He said his question is how come the demon, the heavenly demon king, is more powerful than the Christian king, the Christian God.
Right.
Okay. I said no. I mean, how come the Christian God? He feels that Christian God is more powerful than
The demon.
the demon king.
Okay.
This is from their Taoist beliefs. They say that the Jade Emperor, the Christian God, is almighty. Okay, but that belief is not quite accurate. What happens is that in the desired heaven, okay, the first 2 heavens are under the Christian God's control. He's in charge. Okay? Nghe hiểu? Cái hai tầng trời thứ nhất á, là dưới cái quyền điều khiển của ngài ông Thiên Chúa. the last 4 heavens, okay, are under the control of the heavenly demon kings. They're much more powerful than the Christian God. Much, much more.
He's told us that before. He's told us before. You've said that to us before.
Yes.
Okay. Well, time is up. Any final questions that you want to clarify before? Yes.
Lúc nãy thầy nói là cái tâm ma của mình là do, cũng có thể là do cái ma vương vô.
Không phải ma vương, ma thôi cả
ma vô.
Ma vương đó thì giờ mình deal with us, mình too small.
Mình vô khúc đó thì nếu gọi là khi nó nhập vô mình á thì là mình tạo nghiệp chướng, thì nếu vậy thì nó là cái người tạo ra nghiệp chướng chứ đâu phải mình.
Nó loves to create nghiệp chướng. He loves it more.
Thì nếu vậy là nó là cái người suffer cái nghiệp chướng chứ đâu phải.
So what? He loves to tạo cái nghiệp chướng đó. Cô giờ nghe nói những serial killer, they love to kill. Demons love to harm you. Love to harm us. Love to create harm, to create mischiefs. Yes?
I want to know, it's the levels of like the demon king, I mean the two god, the Christian gods, that's 2, right?
Yes.
And then it's the demon kings are how many, 4 or 3?
What?
You know, levels, you said the next 2 levels?
The next 4 heavens.
The next 4 heavens.
Under the heavenly demon kings control.
But then there's higher heavens than that.
No, that's in the desire realm, that's the top.
Oh, it's the desire realm, okay.
Okay.
But then we go into the form realm. Now we have the first dhyana, second dhyana, and third dhyana.
See, so I got it straightened out, but I mean, I'm not
Different.
saying it
The
right.
3 realms now. Desire realm is what we are right now.
Okay.
Okay, that's what we here to repay our past karmas
So
in
that's
this
the
desire
demon
realm.
kings all around.
That's why we have this body,
Right.
so that it's infested with desires. Desire for women, desire for food, desire for sleep. Okay, that's from our prior karmas that we're here to repay, to undergo the retribution. Okay, that's the nature of our existence.
Right.
You're undergoing our retributions that were created in the past.
Our karmic retribution.
Okay, that's the nature of our existence.
Right.
But then when you cultivate, that's why the first dhyana is so important, because when you cultivate, you reach level of first dhyana, you escape the desire realm.
Okay.
Nghe hiểu không? Và bởi cái tu hành nó quan trọng chỗ đó đó. Cái first tầng đầu, cái first trình độ mà định đó, nó quan trọng tại mình thấy được cái sự giải thoát lần đầu tiên của cuộc đời mình thấy được.
Thì ở trong bên phía Đức Thiên Chúa không có nằm ở trong cái phút đó.
Thiên Chúa là vẫn trong cái cõi trầm luân, trong cõi confusion, trong cái cõi excessive sexual desire. Chúa has excessive sexual desire, unlike the teaching, unlike they like us to believe. Người Thiên Chúa, ông Chúa is so blessed. Ông có vợ, ông có 10.000 cung phi, người phi, and he uses his spiritual powers, đọc kinh Hoa Nghiêm, he uses spiritual powers to enjoy himself with all of them at the same time. That's how blessed he is. Just trong thế giới mình, let's be realistic. Đừng có bộ mình phải trả tiền xe, trả tiền áo quần, trả tiền ăn nào, right? It's blessings. Come on, let's be real about it. Đúng không? Có vợ bé, same thing, right? I'm not talking for any of the older gentlemen. And thành ra cái blessings của cái ông Thiên Chúa, mấy ông tiên có manifest rất là lạ, là họ enjoy được mấy cái dục lạc đó, sung sướng dễ sợ, unlike our world. Mình dễ đi lạc như vậy. Anyway, Thì giờ hết rồi. We should stop here today. Okay?
Cái phạt dạ.